So my mom's in the hospital right now. And when a loved one goes into the hospital, it's really important to have an understanding that doctors and nurses are humans first, and how they want to do their job, but it could be a very dangerous place for an elderly person. And many doctors and nurses are very overwhelmed with how many patients they have, the complexity of some of the cases, and quite frankly, some of their patients, no fault of their own, can be difficult and take a lot of their time. And so some people that maybe are easier going or don't really have somebody looking out for them can get less service than somebody who needs a lot of help. I mean, that's just human nature, right? So then you add on to that and look at, well, most of the time, doctor's there for 8 hours. There's a new doctor coming in after that, and then there's a new doctor coming in after that. And also nurses have different shifts. The care team, the caregivers, they have different shifts. Physical therapists, all these different people coming in and coming out. It's really hard for you sometimes to get the answers that you want. And so it's up to you to really become the patient advocate for your loved one, or whether it's you or somebody else. It shouldn't be multiple people in a family necessarily, but one person should be really the go-to person that asks the right questions and becomes that squeaky wheel that makes sure that your mom, dad, or loved one is getting the right service level and the right amount of attention for whatever's going wrong in their world right now, right? So here's 5 things I'm going to give you right now on how you can become an advocate for your loved one. First of all, you got to meet the players, right? You got to meet the doctor. This can all happen over the phone, by the way. The phone conversation is totally fine for this, and I know there's lots of restrictions in hospitals right now, so with that, phone calls might be your best option. Starting with the case manager, going to a doctor who's in charge, maybe there's a surgery going on, any person who's influential, definitely speaking to people on the nursing staff that's in charge of your loved one is a real critical piece, and they can give you some good inside information on how their condition is going. Speak up, ask for the names of people that are working with your loved one. Don't be afraid to ask questions that you might think are dumb questions. There are no dumb questions. We want to make sure that you have a good understanding. And as a matter of fact, asking the question why is such a good question. You don't have to ask these real complicated, you don't have to Google something and really get this understanding like you're a doctor, which you're most likely not. All you got to do is why, or I don't really understand, or why not, right? You want to just get those clarifying questions and try to make sure that you really get an understanding about what's going on. Another great thing to do is if you're working with a nurse or if you're working with the doctor, physical therapist, the case manager, ask them for their help. What would you recommend to me here? What's their opinion? What do they see with their patients when they're going through a similar thing? So that's another good way to increase your knowledge on the situation. And then lastly, you do want to have enough of a presence there that they feel like that you are holding them accountable, and that they should be following up with you after something's going on, periodically checking in on you, or you checking in on them, making sure that they're holding up their end of the bargain. And again, they're working with multiple families, they're going all over the board. So you calling them, if you can put that on your schedule, is going to be a really good strategy to keep things all together. So those are your 5 things to become a patient advocate. I hope everybody finds themselves in good shape and they don't need to go through this, but chances are at some point you're going to have to. So if I can help in any way, give me a call and we can take it from there. All right, talk to you soon.